Petite Pet Portraits with the Artist Algernon.
Hey everybody, it is I, the Artist Algernon, but you can call me Derrick. We're here today to do the first of the Petite Pet Portrait series, which is a 2.5 inch by 3.5 inch painting of somebody's pet, whether it be a dog, a cat. I painted a bird for a buddy of mine, as well as sometimes children.
Here's a look at today's subject, Gunner. So what I like to do is start out with some black gesso. This is a batch of black gesso that I've had since college. I just started using again, and I put a layer of white paint on top, acrylic for this particular painting. When they mix, you usually get dried boogers, not real boogers, but paint boogers. You scrape them off with a screwdriver like so. You move on with your life, and then you make some more coffee. Cheers. Now that we have a halftone gray image, I can just lighten and darken the canvas and add the colors as needed. In this case, there is the blue of denim, a pillow, which I'm not sure what color it is in real life, but it appears as chartreuse, which everyone knows is one of my favorite colors. And we're halfway there.
All right, gang. We are looking pretty good so far. These paintings don't always come into life that fast. Sometimes I'll spend a good amount of time trying to lay in the foundation of the painting. You won't get that kind of vibey, the mood isn't there. It'll look like the dog, but the mood isn't there. In this case, we have a very brooding, beautiful love bug of a pit bull. This dog is on his owner in his lap, probably getting belly rubs and stuff like that, but still for some reason so melancholy, looking off into the distance because, the dogs don't get enough love. Speaking of which, hey Doodlebug, you can come up. You come up. Oh, there we go. Oh, she's not a lap dog anymore. All right, so this is Miss Maybelline. This might be her first appearance on the show, but I'm really enjoying where we are at with with this painting of Gunner. So I'm gonna take her out on a walk, and we'll reconvene shortly while we have the good lighting.
Well, we are back from our walk, and I've got fresh eyes, and I see that I've really got too much contrast going on with Gunner here. So I'm evening out his face, and it's really coming to life. As you can see, we really don't have much left to do in this painting, but tie together some of the tones that you see in the background and add them to the areas that he is close to. For example, you're going to see some hints of chartreuse and rust as you do in the background. You will see those reflected on his fur, and he also has strong lighting in the front, so his ears appear to be a bit translucent, and I think I've done a pretty good job of showing that. Now we're going to eliminate some of that contrast and lighten up the side of his face and his body as well. Again, the chartreuse and rust mixed together really do create a vibrational effect that I feel helps add a vibe and emotion to the painting. And I'd be remiss to not mention just how perfect this dog looks. Not the painting, but the dog himself. A perfect pit bull face. It really does make my job easy. And there's a dimple on the side of his face that I'm being careful to leave in there. A lot of dry brushing we're doing, as you can see with my overly animated hands. Maybe it's the coffee. And I feel at this point in the painting, it is time to lighten up some of the background. Again, more dry brushing. And I feel the final thing to work on for this painting is hold on, there we go. The final thing is the paws. There's a lot of expression in the paws of a dog and tons of personality. The ears and the paws play a huge part in capturing a dog's likeness depending on the photo. And when working with the paws, you have to make sure to not get caught in the same trap that a lot of painters do. And that trap is to treat the paws like hands and feet. They are not. They are inherently different, and though I can see how you can look at a catcher's mitt and a first baseman's glove and say, oh, those are the same. When you look at them close up, you realize there are a ton of differences, and we are going to work on those on this dog. And a lot of it, I apologize, I'm probably going to jump from the paws to little areas of the face here and there. I fine tune as I go sometimes, and I am going to be struggling with that probably the rest of my career. Anyhow, we're going in and we're getting a more uniform look in the paws, and we're trying to add some of those colors that would be reflected off of the jeans and the pillows in the background. And you also have to take into account that there is a television, it looks like, or maybe they're just sitting in a windowsill, but there's a lot of strong light, and it's important to get a uniform reflection of that and be subtle with the other colors. We can see we've got that area on the ear that we have to go into, and we're going to have to lighten the background as well. Now what we're going to do is dry brush. If you're not familiar, it is usually fanning out a bit of paint that you apply to the canvas and feathering it into the area. The reason we do that is to make sure that you maintain the structure of what's going on, and to just add subtle swashes of color. Now there is a few areas on the paws that need to be addressed, but first I have to make sure the ear has the spots, because this dog has, you see, the little freckles on the nose, or whatever they would be called. I'm not sure. If somebody knows what those spots are, please make sure to comment. But we're going to go in, fix little corners here in the smiley part of the dog, the side of the mouth. And we're going to really dial in the paws. Make sure the nails are facing in the direction they're supposed to. So at this point, you're not painting just thin lines like they would be. You have to think about perspective and look at them for the shape that they really are versus what your brain might tell you. I'm very happy about how this has gone so far. To the point where I think we're almost there. Got a couple more tweaks to do. And now we're going to dry brush the background. We need to lighten that up a little bit in that corner of the ear so that Gunner pops off of the canvas. The dry brushing technique comes in really handy for moments like this. And we're going to add simple highlights to really make sure that we've got the vibe still intact. It's very, very important. When I'm painting, I feel like I'm trying to create a world and invite the viewer into that world. And in this case, you're sharing in a moment with a dog and his owner. We're going to add a little bit more of this chartreuse color to what would seemingly be just background noise, but that pillow area, it needs to be addressed. There are seams in the pillow that are, in my opinion, very important to this painting. There's that seam that'll be created without painting any lines on this thing. We're just going to add these swashes of the lightened color on there and gently work it in and then brighten the rest of it. Again, I don't like to paint as if I'm drawing. I just like to apply shapes of color. And now I'm scanning the photo for other areas that I would use this same color for to tie the painting together. And I feel we're done here. That is a buddy. Look at him.
All right, gang. Gunner, beautiful pup. That's all wrapped up. Dropped him off. Pretty happy about how it came out. And just for a reference of what we're dealing with size-wise, that is how big the painting actually is. So it's like that. Ooh. So I had a blast painting that dog. Some paintings are easier than others. The reference photo, oh man, I just fell in love with that dog, and you know, he painted himself. That's a beautiful, beautiful dog. I think that's all we got for today. Obviously, if you like what I do, check me out on the social medias, the Artist Algernon on Instagram, and as well as Petite Pet Portraits as far as artwork goes. I'm glad you stuck around and enjoyed this little journey that we're doing. And I'll see you the next time. Till then, cheers to another great painting.